Have you ever bought something just because a clock was ticking down to zero? Be honest. You've seen it 100 times. A countdown timer on a checkout page. Only 3 left in stock. Sale ends in 2 hours. And every single time, some part of your brain believed it. That the deal was real. That the clock was real. Most of the time, neither one was. This isn't a small trick used by a few shady websites. It's one of the most studied, most deliberately engineered psychological mechanisms in modern retail. And understanding how it works will change the way you see almost every website you visit. Let's start with what these timers are actually built to do. A countdown timer doesn't sell you a product. It sells you a feeling. Specifically, a feeling psychologists call loss aversion. The idea that losing something feels significantly worse than gaining the equivalent thing feels good. You don't fear missing the deal because the deal is good. You fear missing it because your brain treats potential loss as more urgent than potential gain, even when the two are mathematically identical. A countdown timer takes that ancient wiring and gives it a deadline. Suddenly, doing nothing has a cost, and your brain hates that more than it likes saving money. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. In 2019, a major UK retailer was investigated and fined for running countdown timers that didn't actually mean anything. The clock would tick down to zero, and then it would simply reset and start again. Customers had no way of knowing this. The number on their screen looked exactly like a real, finite deadline. It never was. This wasn't a glitch. It was the default behavior of the system, running for years, generating exactly the urgency it was designed to generate. The investigation found that thousands of customers had made purchase decisions based on a deadline that functionally did not exist. And countdown clocks are only one tool in a much larger toolkit. Only 3 left in stock is another version of the same mechanism, and it's frequently just as disconnected from reality. Some websites display low stock numbers that have nothing to do with actual warehouse inventory. The number is generated by an algorithm designed to create urgency, separate from any real-time stock data at all. In several documented cases, researchers ordering the supposedly last item found the exact same low stock warning still displayed minutes later for the next visitor and the visitor after that. Then there's social proof urgency. The little pop-up that says, "Sarah from Ohio just bought this." Or, 12 people are viewing this right now. Some of these are real, pulled from actual user activity. Many are not. Several companies have been caught running these notifications on a randomized loop, regardless of whether any actual person did anything at all. So why does any of this work, even on people who already suspect it might not be real? Because the mechanism doesn't operate on logic. It operates on a part of your brain that responds to urgency faster than your conscious reasoning can catch up. Researchers studying scarcity messaging have found that the simple presence of a countdown timer, regardless of whether the underlying offer changes at all, can increase purchase conversion by well over 200%. Not because the product is better, not because the price changed, because a ticking clock activates a stress response that pushes you toward immediate action and away from careful evaluation. This isn't a flaw in your thinking. It's a feature of how the human brain evolved. For most of human history, scarcity signals were almost always accurate and almost always dangerous to ignore. If food was running out, if water was running low, hesitation could be fatal. Evolution built a brain that treats scarcity as an emergency requiring fast action, not careful analysis. That mechanism kept humans alive for hundreds of thousands of years. Modern retail didn't invent that instinct. It just figured out how to trigger it on command, using nothing but a number that counts down to nothing. And the engineering goes deeper than most people realize. Studies on digital countdown timers have found that the visual design itself matters. Red timers create more urgency than blue or green ones. Timers that include seconds, ticking visibly, create more urgency than timers that only show hours and minutes. Some platforms even adjust the countdown speed slightly as it approaches zero, making the final seconds feel faster than they actually are, intensifying the exact moment a customer is deciding whether to click buy. None of this is illegal in most cases. Disclosure requirements vary significantly by country, and many of these techniques exist in a regulatory gray area. Technically legal as long as the company can argue the message wasn't a direct, provable lie. The 2019 case was notable specifically because the deadline was demonstrably fake and repeatedly reset. Vague urgency, on the other hand, mostly goes unchallenged, which raises an uncomfortable question. If you know all of this, If you know the clock might be fake. If you know the stock number might be generated by an algorithm with no relationship to a real warehouse. Does knowing change anything? The honest answer, according to researchers who study this, is only partially. Knowing about a psychological bias reduces its effect, but it rarely eliminates it. The stress response triggered by a ticking clock happens faster than conscious reasoning. By the time you've thought this might be fake, your brain has already started reacting as if it isn't. Awareness helps you slow down and double-check. It doesn't stop the initial spike of urgency from happening in the first place. So here's where that leaves us. The countdown timer was never really about the product. It was about exploiting a piece of biology that was built for an entirely different kind of emergency. One where waiting actually could get you killed. Today, waiting usually just means you keep your money a little longer, and the product is still there tomorrow, in almost every case that matters. Think back to that question at the start. Have you ever bought something just because a clock was ticking down? Be honest with yourself this time. Was it the product you wanted, or was it the fear of the number hitting zero? So the next time you see a clock ticking down on a checkout page, what do you think it's actually counting down to? Let us know in the comments. If this changed how you see something you scroll past almost every day, that's exactly what this channel is for. Hit subscribe. Next time we might explore why limited edition almost never means what you think it means, or how free shipping thresholds are calculated to make you spend more, not less. Tell us which one you want first.